If you want to become overpowered in Minecraft, then potions are the way to go. But if you find brewing a bit too complicated, then this video is for you. Because in this Ultimate Minecraft Potions Guide, you're not only going to learn how to brew, but I'm also going to show you all the potions in the game, where to find the ingredients for them, plus some secret tricks that will make you a potion master. Let's jump right into it. But alright, let's start out by talking about what you even need before starting to brew your potions, and that would first of all be glass bottles, which you can craft with 3 glass blocks like this, and then go and fill them up with water. These water bottles are essential because they are the base of all the potions that we're about to make. Up next, of course, we need a brewing stand. A brewing stand can be crafted with this recipe right here, and in order to do that, we need blaze rods, which drop from blazes in the nether. You can easily find them in nether fortresses. They usually have 1 or even multiple blaze spawners in them. And then, once you set up your brewing stand and have your water bottles, you can start brewing. So here's how you do that. This right here is the brewing stand interface. I know this might look a bit scary, but don't worry, we're gonna go over it step by step. It's actually pretty easy. First off, in the top left corner right here, this is where our fuel goes that we need to put in to fire up the brewing stand. As fuel, we need blaze powder, which you can get by putting a blaze rod in your inventory and just turn it into powder. And 1 blaze rod gives you 2 blaze powder, which in and of themselves give you enough fuel for 20 brewing cycles. So in other words, 1 blaze rod is enough fuel to brew 40 sets of potions. So you don't need all too many actually. But okay. Now that we have the blaze powder as fuel in, the next thing we're going to look at are these 3 slots down here. This is where you put the bottles in that you want to brew your ingredients into. So in our case, we start out with the water bottles and fill them up in these 3 slots. One very important thing here though is that whenever you're brewing, make sure to always fill up all 3 slots because they allow you to essentially brew 3 potions at the same time. If you don't fill them all up, then you're just wasting resources. And then finally, the slot up at the top, this is where your ingredients go, the things that you want to brew into your potion, and here comes the first very important step that you need to take for every single potion. Remember how I said that we're starting out with water bottles? That is actually not completely correct because you can't turn water bottles into potions directly. The first step is to turn the water bottles in an item called Awkward Potion, because it's actually the awkward potions that we're going to turn into all the potions in the game, not the water bottles directly. So, how do you do that? Well, to create an awkward potion, what you gotta do is put the water bottle at the bottom, and then as an ingredient, you want to put nether warts into them. In case you don't know where to get them, nether warts also grow in nether fortresses, so you can collect them at the same time when you're hunting down blazes to get the blaze rods. And once you got the awkward potions, that is when you can start the real brewing, about which we're gonna talk now. Beforehand though, would be pretty cool if you could leave a quick like for the video, because especially for smaller channels like this one, every single like really helps to push the video out to more people. So cheers so much for your support. But okay, now that you got your awkward potions, we can finally start to turn them into the real magical elixirs. What we're gonna do right now is take a look at all potions in the game, how to make them, where to get the ingredients for them, and I'm also gonna tell you how to best use them. So let's start out with those potions that have positive effects on you. And of course, the first and most obvious one here would be the Potion of Healing. This one can be brewed with a glistering melon slice. The way you get that is put a normal melon slice into your crafting table and then surround it with gold nuggets. And that Potion of Healing then, when you drink it, will instantly restore 2 hearts. And the next one would be the Potion of Fire Resistance. This one is incredibly strong because it makes you completely immune to all damage from fire, lava, magma blocks, campfires, and blazes. So in other words, whenever you're in the nether, especially if you play on hardcore, you should have one of these bad boys in your pocket, because if you accidentally fall into lava, this one is your saving grace. The way you brew this is with a magma cream, which you can either get from magma cubes in the nether, or by putting a slime ball and blaze powder in your crafting table. Up next, we have the cousin of the Potion of Healing, and that would be the Potion of Regeneration. This one is brewed with a ghast tear. You go into the nether, take out a ghast, and they can drop the tears then. And what this potion does is, it regenerates 1/2 of a heart every 2.5 seconds for a total duration of 45 seconds. And just by the way, if you're wondering which is better, the Potion of Instant Healing or the Potion of Regeneration, then I would personally recommend use the Potion of Instant Healing only as your last emergency trump card. However, the Potion of Regeneration, that is something that I would recommend taking before a fight, because if you have good armor, then you're not going to take a lot of damage, but the moment your food meter goes down, you stop regenerating, and that is when it becomes dangerous. However, with the Potion of Regeneration, you keep the regeneration up even if your food meter goes down, and this way you instantly heal the damage that you take in the fight back up. Another great potion though would be the Potion of Strength. This one increases your melee attack damage by 3, meaning every hit you do deals 1.5 hearts more damage. Very good in combat, and the way you brew this is with a blaze powder, and then you're a strong boy. However, if you rather want to be a speedy boy, then go for the Potion of Swiftness. This one is very easy to brew, only needs a sugar, and as the name suggests, it just makes you run faster. Another super great potion, probably one of the most convenient in the game, would be the Potion of Night Vision. This one, as the name suggests, gives you the ability to see in the dark. You can see a before-after reference on screen right now. And this one is absolutely amazing when exploring caves, maybe being underwater or out at night. And the way you brew them is with a golden carrot, similar to the glistering watermelon slice. The way you get this is, take a normal carrot and surround it with gold nuggets. A very funny potion though is the Potion of Invisibility. This one, well, makes you invisible. However, one thing to keep in mind is, only you are invisible. If you're having stuff in your hand, that is visible, and very important to keep in mind, if you're wearing armor, then monsters can actually see you from a bit further away, so if you want to take full advantage of this potion, make sure that you have nothing on you. The way you brew this is with a fermented spider eye, which in turn you get when you put a spider eye, sugar, and a brown mushroom into your crafting table. But how about never drowning? Well, you can do that with the Potion of Water Breathing, which, allows you to stay underwater without losing breath. The way you get this is with a pufferfish, and even though there are multiple ways to get them, I think the easiest is to just, go fishing, and then you just pull them out of the water occasionally. If you want to speed that up, you could of course also have a dedicated fish farm. Up next though, we have a potion that I'm not too big of a fan of, and that would be the Potion of Leaping. This one increases your jump height, but funny enough, it doesn't increase your jump height enough to actually jump 2 blocks high, so there isn't all too much use for it. What makes it even worse is, you need a rabbit's foot to brew it, and those items are quite rare, so overall I don't think that this potion is really worth it. However, a potion that is very much worth it is the next one, and that is the Potion of Slow Falling. As the name suggests, this one drastically reduces your falling speed, so you're not taking fall damage. And the way you make this is with a phantom membrane, which drops from phantoms, the spooky boys that appear in the sky if you haven't slept for 3 days. And the last and most important buffing potion solves a problem that 99% of you still have. And as an ingredient, you only need the YouTube sub button. That will then give you the potion of being subscribed to MCBlanky, making it so that you don't miss my helpful guides day 1. There's a lot more videos to come, so I would really appreciate the sub, and welcome to the crew. So yeah, these were all the potions that have a positive effect on you when you drink them. However, there's also a bunch of potions that have negative effects when applied, and that is what we're going to talk about next, starting out with the Potion of Poison. This one is crafted with a spider eye, and what it does is you take damage over time, to be more precise, half a heart every 1.25 seconds. Quick thing to note here though, this potion will never ever take you completely out. You will always be left with 1/2 of a heart remaining, even if the effect is still on you, but you still ideally don't ever want to be hit by this. Up next, we have the Potion of Oozing. This one sounds pretty weird at first, but it's actually quite useful. You brew it with a slime block. A slime block, you can make that out of 9 slime balls. And what this Potion of Oozing does is, when you apply it to a creature, and then that creature dies, it will spawn 2 medium slimes. Now, you might be wondering, why would I want that? And I'm pretty sure there are quite some creative uses that people are getting out of. Let us know what you do with it in the comments down below. But the main thing that I can think of is, it is basically an infinite slime farm. You know, you need 9 slime balls to get the slime cube to make the potion, and then especially if you have a sword with a looting enchantment, the slimes that spawn out of this potion will give you more slime balls back than you needed to craft the potion in the first place. This way, you can essentially farm infinite slimes over and over and over again without having to go out or actually build a dedicated slime farm. And the next one goes in a similar direction. This one is called Potion of Weaving, and also here, you apply it to a creature, and when the creature dies, it will spawn 2 to 3 cobwebs. Also here, this is basically an infinite cobweb hack, right? You need 1 cobweb to brew the potion, but you get 2 to 3 out of it. So whenever you need a lot of them, this is your way to go. Then up next, we have the probably most overpowered potion in the entire game. This one is called Potion of Infestation, and what it does is, when the creature that has the effect on it gets hit, then there's a 10% chance to spawn silverfish. This is a mechanic that you can use to make one of the most overpowered experience farms in the game. I already made a full video on how to build that, you can find it in the cards in the corner. And the best thing about it, it's super easy to brew, all you need is 1 stone. That's literally all. One thing that in my opinion isn't all that useful though would be the Potion of Wind Charging. This one is crafted with a breeze rod, so you need to go into a trial chamber and take out breezes. It's not that easy to get by. And what it does is, you also apply it to a creature, and when that creature dies, it will create a wind burst. Let me know in the comments down below for what you actually use this, because right now I can't really think of why I would want to have that. Then we have the opposite of the Potion of Strength, called the Potion of Weakness, which instead of increasing your attack damage, actually reduces your attack damage by 4, so whichever attack you do, it deals 2 hearts less damage. And the way you craft this is with a fermented spider eye, but, and this is the big exception, this is the only potion in the game that isn't crafted with an awkward potion as a base, but for this one and this one only, you only need a normal water bottle down here. Okay, so the next potion is quite interesting, because here we also don't use an awkward potion as a base, but instead we need a potion of healing and a potion of poison down here, and again, as an ingredient, the fermented spider eye, which will then get us the potion of harming, which is the polar opposite of the potion of healing. In fact, when you drink it, you will instantly take 6 damage, or in other words, you lose 3 hearts. All in all, this potion can be quite useful as a sort of hand grenade type of weapon when you turn it into its splash potion variant and throw it at the enemy. Again here, how to turn a potion into a splash potion, we're gonna go over that in just a minute. And then the final negative effect would be the Potion of Slowness. This one is created with a Potion of Swiftness as well as a Potion of Leaping in the bottom parts, and then again a fermented spider eye as ingredient. The Potion of Slowness then will reduce your movement speed by 15%. So yeah, these were all the positive and negative potions in the game, but there are a few potions that are very special and don't quite fit any other category, so let's also quickly talk about them. Starting out with the Potion of the Turtle Master. This one is really weird, because on the one hand, it gives you a whopping 60% damage reduction, which is very good, but it also reduces your movement speed by 60%. Effectively, it turns you into a turtle. So decide for yourself if it is worth it for you. If you want to make it, then you gotta take a turtle shell as an ingredient with an awkward potion, meaning overall, this one is quite hard to come by. If you ask me, I personally would not want to go for it, but hey, you do you. And then finally, there are 2 more potions, but you can't really get them in the game. You can only get them by commands or in creative mode, and that would be the Potion of Luck in Java Edition only, and the Potion of Decay in Bedrock only. The Potion of Luck increases your chances of getting rare loot out of chests or enemies, whereas the Potion of Decay basically gives you a wither effect. But alright, these would be all the potions in the game. However, there is one very important mechanic that we haven't talked about yet, and that is that you can take these potions and upgrade them by making their effects stronger or last longer, or even make these potions throwable. That's very important, so let's talk about it. First of all, by default, all potions are drinkable. However, for the negative effects like poisoning, you of course don't want to drink that for yourself. You want to apply it to an enemy, and the way you do this is you can turn potions into a splash potion version of themselves. In order to make it happen, all you need to do is go to the brewing stand, put the normal potion in the bottom, and then a gunpowder as ingredient, and that will then change the normal potion into a splash potion where the effect is exactly the same, but instead of drinking it, you're throwing it out. On the one hand, as I said, this is very useful if you have negative effects that you want to throw at enemies, but what most players don't think about is it can also save you resources when you're playing together with friends. For example, if you want to go cave mining with a friend, then you can just make a splash potion of night vision, stand next to your friend and throw it on the floor, which will then give the night vision effect to both of you, so you don't have to craft two separate night vision potions. Pretty nice actually. Just one very important thing to keep in mind here with the Potion of Healing and the Potion of Harming is, if you turn them into a splash potion, for undead enemies like skeletons or zombies, the effects of healing and harming are inverted. So if you throw a potion of healing at a zombie, they will actually take damage, but if you throw a potion of harming at them, you will heal them. Keep that one in mind, otherwise it might get dangerous. Another thing that you can do with potions though is make them last longer. This is a buff that you can apply to every potion that has a duration, for example the Potion of Night Vision. At base, this lasts for 3 minutes, but if you buff up the duration, it will last a whopping 8 minutes, which is great. And the way you do this is, you take the normal potion down here and then put in a redstone dust as an ingredient. Just keep in mind, not every potion can be made longer, only those with a timer. However, something like the Potion of Healing, for example, that just heals you directly, that doesn't have a duration, so you cannot make it last longer like this. And then the final buff would be just making the potion stronger. This one you can achieve by using a glowstone dust as an ingredient and brew it into the standard version of the potion, and what it will do is it will just make the effect of the potion stronger. For example, the normal Potion of Healing restores 2 hearts, but if you make it stronger with the glowstone, then the healing will be twice as strong, giving you 4 whopping hearts back, which is very good. Also here though, not every potion can be made stronger like this. For example, something like the Potion of Night Vision can't be made stronger because there is no strength of the effect there. You either have night vision or you don't. But one important thing that you shouldn't forget is, for every potion, you can either only make it last longer or the effect be stronger. You can't put both effects on the same potion, so you have to decide which one you use. And then, last but definitely not least, the final potion effect that we need to talk about is the lingering effect. Again, you throw out the potion, but instead of just breaking, it will create an area of effect on the ground that lasts for some time, and everybody who runs into this area will be affected by the potion's effect. The way you make a lingering potion is, you first of all need to have a splash potion, and then as an ingredient, you're gonna use one of the rarest items in the game, and that would be the Dragon's Breath, where the only way to get this is to fight the Ender Dragon, and when the Ender Dragon shoots down on you, you take an empty bottle and pick up that breath elixir from the ground. Quite the dangerous item to come by, so you might be wondering, why would I even want to do that? Well, it's unfortunately quite important because you need lingering potions in order to craft different versions of tipped arrows. The way you do this is, you take a lingering potion, put it in the crafting table, and then surround it by normal arrows, and that will then give you 8 tipped arrows with the effect of the potion on them. That is how you do it in the Java edition. However, in Bedrock it's actually much simpler. All you need to do there is take 3 normal potions and then right-click with a stack of normal arrows onto the cauldron, which will instantly turn the entire stack of arrows into tipped arrows of that specific effect. But if you want to become even more overpowered, then you also need enchanted equipment. So up next, check out my full enchantment guide right here, because otherwise you might do it wrong and waste a ton of resources. So see you next time, and until then, craft well.